In this video, welding is happening. Ellie is being slowly stitched back together again on this rotten corner by Matt here, who has very kindly come to help out. This is his CAD templating going on here. Cardboard assisted design, as they call it on Project Binky. And here is the wing. I'm going to have to do some cosmetics on this. It's got a few scrapes on it, but it's sound down this leading edge. And all looks good inside, but I need to get some rust converter on it and possibly some paint. Marvellous. So thank you very much, Matt. There is more of Ellie on the floor, but there is now good metal. I've just chucked some primer on top because I haven't got time to finish up today. So we'll give that a proper good rub back. There's some seam sealing to do down this back edge. It just seems like there's layers of metal. It's all a bit strange. But yeah, we'll see if we can spruce her up. We've got some filler, so we'll put a skim of filler over, smooth it all up. I've got to re-drill that hole for the wing attachment, and of course I've got to finish preparing the other wing. So we've still got some way to go, but Project Ellie is progressing. The endless project of my 2CV, which I've owned for getting on for 22 years this summer. Blimey. We're on to day 2 of the Ellie project. It's the day after the welding was done. I'm still awaiting some seam sealer so I can really finish this, but I've started spraying wax all over the inner wing where I'm not going to be painting, just so that's done, especially around this bump stop, which is looking a bit vulnerable. The U-pole Raptor was chipping away here and down this stretch. And once I get the seam sealer, I will finish off these areas. Then we've got some filler so we can smooth it over a bit, and then we'll get into paint. The primer is just on to A, give the filler something to attach to, and B, to hopefully keep rust at bay until we can get that work done. So that's where we are with that. I started painting the rear wing. I apologise for not filming any of this. Very professional of me as ever. I got a new sander mouse thing, just a cheap one, given the abuse it's going to undoubtedly go through. So that was used to rub the wing back. Got some really deep scratches and actually got them out quite nicely. I can't see them now, and that primer coat is now just drying. I've ordered up some sunrise red so I can get that finished off and painted. So I won't be matching that to the front wings. I do have some more of this satin paint I used on the front wings, but now I've got the new roof, the satin paint doesn't really work. So at some point the front wings will be getting repainted as well to match the rears. And I could do with a new boot lid, I think. I love this boot lid. I've got a lot of history with this boot lid, as you can see on the inside of it. All sorts of camps and events we've been to over the years. The National Meeting of 2CV Friends on Anglesey Circuit, Winchester, the 8-Ball Rally, where we drove all around the UK over the course of a couple of weeks. That one was amazing. London to Brighton runs. There's all sorts going on in here. Coombe Park, Registers Day. That was the Citroen Centenary event. Registers Day, Wood Green that's over in Cambridgeshire. The Retro Ride Gathering 2008. That's the one they did at the British Motor Museum when it was still the Heritage Motor Centre, I think. No track action at that one. But speaking of track action and retro rides, I can't remember if I've mentioned this, but me and Ellie were at the very first Retro Rides Gathering in 2007 at Mallory Park in Leicestershire. This year, the Retro Rides Gathering is going back. After several years at Shelsley Walsh, they're going back to where it all began, Mallory Park. So I will be there in Ellie, hopefully taking part in some track action again. So there's much to do to make sure she's in the finest fettle for that trip. But yeah, I think really this... oh, you've gone all floppy. Come back. This boot lid has pretty much had it. So I think that will go into display mode and we'll get a better boot lid. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. To fit, because that's easy enough. One day I might even fit the hatchback kit I've got somewhere, so the whole rear end lifts up. I still haven't fitted the screws. I ordered up the replacement screws that hold the roof here from Matt and Matt Soft Tops, who makes the roof, so that's happened. That's on the way. Not on the way, it's somewhere at home. So I need to find those, and we'll actually finish putting the roof on. I don't feel like there's all that much rush this time of year, but it would be good to get done. So that's where we are. It's just a quick recap, really. We'll get this corner finished. Once that corner's finished, I will be going mad with the wax everywhere. I've proved my point with the U-Pole Raptor, and that's that I don't think it's the ideal solution for a car, especially one with lots of sharp edges and with a body shell that flexes to a huge degree, because U-Pole Raptor, I'm not convinced it does flex all that sufficiently, but that's where we are. And then at some point, hopefully I can get her in somewhere like P2CV for a bit of a mechanical overhaul, because I think she needs it. We may have to go down the route of building up another engine, which gets me thinking, because then I'm like, well, maybe I should fit one of those Sparrow 720 jobbies that he builds up using the parts from a company called VGS in Belgium, I think it is. And I drove his red demonstrator over a year ago now, and that was huge fun. So tempting, very, very tempting, because a bit more power. But the problem is, you're always like, a bit more power, a bit more power. I've got the 652, that's a bit more power, and now I want a bit more power again. You can end up getting a bit carried away with these things. Jumping back onto the 2CV project today, we've already got slight issues with holes not quite lining up in the right places, and this hole being entirely missing. Because my friend Joey, she's an absolutely fantastic fabricator, she repaired this wing, and then I took it on when I was rebuilding this car 5 years ago. So that's how long I haven't fitted this wing. So yeah, we need to drill a hole there. We're finding generally there's a few fitment issues. This is Chaz, who you will probably have seen in the Toyota Camry video that I think will have come out before this one. Fun part of my life, trying to work these things out. We've diagnosed the head gasket on the Camry, more likely a cracked head, and with that done, we're now sitting on bodywork. So Chaz has been busy sanding and adding another layer of filler to this sill just to get it nice and smooth. I won't run my finger through it. I don't think I'll be very popular if I did that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. No. Work is continuing on the 2CV. We actually got slightly distracted and had to go to town to grab some petrol, some E5 for Foxanne, and some goodies like filler primer and some more primer because we'd run out of primer. Chaz is still sanding away. I've been given the job of shaking this. He's probably wisely keeping me a long way from the 2CV. It's probably for the best. While we are quite literally waiting for paint to dry, we've been having to play with Myrtle instead. This is a good thing about having loads of cars. Myrtle not been idling right, so we've been trying to find what could be wrong, and someone's ear managed to notice that this joint here was a very slight leak on it, and was it that connection, electrical connector as well? There was poor, yeah. Okay, so that's been cleaned up, and we now have remade that point, and then yeah, and she's more responsive now because she's fueling properly. Yeah. So yeah, she's running much better now. So thank you. Another one off the list. Another one off the list. So hopefully we can give her another try on an MOT and see if she passes this time. Ah, lovely. So that'll be another car back into action, which would be good. Right, 2CV update. Up here again. The wing I managed to scratch, so I've just put some fresh paint on that. It's going to be good fun trying to get that back in place without scratching it further. The fit doesn't seem brilliant, but when we look at the holes are exactly the same. We do have one issue. You can just see a slight blip there. That's a hole where I need a hole to put one of these wing mounts in. And yes, the filler really is that bad. I don't care. That's out of sight, out of mind. But that spot, unfortunately, the new bit of metal here is exactly where it's forming a T-junction, right where that bottom bolt has gone. So I think we'll be leaving the bottom bolt off. I've drilled a new hole in the wing for that hole because my friend Joey had welded a flat piece of metal in there and hadn't put the hole in. And yeah, we'll be getting plenty of wax in here before we're done. The paint we're using is Halford's. It's Ford Diamond White, which I thought would be quite creamy. I don't think it's quite as creamy as the Citroen Alpine white, but they didn't have any of that in stock. It's close enough. Ellie, the 2CV, people are always sad about the state of the cosmetics on this car, but the simple truth is that she's always looked rough because she gets used every day, most of the year round. She's actually had this winter off because she's been sitting in here since November. But generally, I just keep her in use all the time, and I'm just constantly going around touching up bits, trying to get wax in places just to stop her corroding. But keeping her nice is just beyond me with the amount of use she gets. So poor Ellie has always been a bit rough around the edges and always will be. But that's because she is used, and often used in considerable anger. Not literal anger, but, you know, I go out, have fun, thrash her about, and she's always been what she is. But yeah, I'm going to chuck the wheel back on and we'll get her outside. We've been using the heat gun to try and help the paint go off, and I think that's been working. And yeah, feel like we're getting somewhere, getting progress. But like I've said in another video, which you've probably already seen because I'm keeping all the 2CV video in one video, I need to get Ellie rolling so we can get the Matiz out. So I might actually get Ellie out, give her a run around the yard. She hasn't run for months, and yeah, that should be fun. Let's do that. Okay, I think we can expect a great deal of cranking because she hasn't run for a couple of months now. So she's got to suck fuel through from the fuel tank. There isn't a primer option. I could take all the air filter assembly off and oh dear, that sounds like the starter's struggling. I might have to take the air filter assembly off and drop a little petrol in just to encourage her to fire, and that running will then pull through more petrol. Of course, when she's cranking, she's only cranking very, very slowly. Apologies everyone, I've got an easy start. Too much choke. There we go, that sounded lovely, isn't it? Oh, a bit tight up against this wall. That certainly made the difference. I think she was actually getting petrol. You can tell because you can see the damp block down there. That is actually what 2CVs do. If they start flooding, there's a tiny hole on the manifold where fuel can leak back out, which sounds like a terrible, dangerous idea, but it doesn't seem to catch fire. We can go for a drive again, albeit only on private ground because we haven't got a door fitted. But yeah, it's always good to be out in Ellie. We'll let her run up, try and get her up to temperature if we can. Well, we're quite a number of weeks down the line now, and finally we've actually got Ellie back on the road properly. So this is very, very pleasing. I had a quick visit to Whiteland Restorations yesterday. Here's a tiny bit of footage from that. That is not their scratch. That's the scratch I appear to have put in my freshly painted wing already. But yeah, we've got the wing is now properly attached. We've got some decent screws holding it in place. Not necessarily the correct ones. These washers are a bit big. We used a different size screw there, but Lewis at Whiteland Restorations got the wing to fit. I was having all manner of problems, but yeah, I mean, just having all the different hardware, so you've got options. He's just very well kitted out, and he's got a very, very good thinking brain, so he was able to work out how to get this wing attached again. So it is attached, and this is pleasing me greatly. Is that another scratch already? Oh dear, I'm scratching my wings all over the place, and they've only been on the car 5 seconds. But yeah, so there we go, that's that done. We've still got front wings, boot lid, all need repainting. At some point I would actually like to get the correct dolly stripes done on the side, but for now I'm just going to enjoy driving Ellie. There's still a few more jobs to do. She's due one of her greasing sessions, so yet more arguing with a grease gun. And I noticed when we were working on the car, the exhaust rubber hangers are not looking in great condition, so I've got some replacements for those. So that will be coming in a future video. But yeah, sorry that's taken so long. I mean, the storm caused the damage back in, what, November? I think it was late November when Storm Arwen hit. And it's taken this long to sort it out. But, you know, rushing to get your 2CV working doesn't feel like a priority during the winter months. The weather has been pretty horrible. It was even horrible yesterday when we went to Whiteland Restoration to support Ellie got a right soaking. But yeah, I'm just happy. How can looking at that car not make you happy? So that's good time. Quick one on the Toyota. People often asking about Toyota, just still amassing parts. We've got some cylinder heads coming from America, I think, to make that engine good again. And while we've got so many other cars working, that one isn't a priority. But we need to crack on with the Daihatsu project now. And yeah, Miss Hubnut pleased about that. That's what we're here for today. But that's where we are with Ellie. Ellie is completed for now. But obviously Project Ellie is never ending. There will be more. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget you can head to the Hubnut store and buy lovely merchandise. Hoodies, we're trying to find a new hoodie solution at the moment. Actually, I'm going to jump in here because we've got exciting hoodie news. We have a new hoodie store on Teespring, which means we can offer different colours. I'm wearing a Tuck Blue. It's a little bit lighter than is displayed on the store, but still quite exciting. We're going to offer a range of colours. We can ship these hoodies anywhere in the world, even Germany. So very exciting. We are giving spring a try. So do check for the link for the hoodie store in the description below. I think we've got Power Less is More t-shirts still.
Yes, we've got a good stock of Power Less is More t-shirts. We've got a good stock of Tuck black and blue t-shirts.
So Tuck black and blue, Power Less is More. We got black t-shirts, Fox and blue. I thought I'd put mine on the wrong way round then, but there you go. That's some terrible microphone noise for you. Yeah, we're wearing matching shirts today. We've both got our Fox and shirts on.
This is not intentional.
By the way, I have no idea what that puddle is. Maybe that's Giselle's puddle. Giselle was part there.
No, that's fresh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I couldn't see anything that was leaking.
Wet.
Anyway, we're doing a really bad job of wrapping this one up. That was Ellie. She's back. Hurrah!